Good evening. I'm Bill Rhodes. I'm going to call to order the meeting of the Haverford Township Zoning Hearing Board of November 6, 2025. Seated on the table to my far left is Jessica Vitale, a voting member. And to her right, Ed McGargy, a voting member.
Good evening.
And to my right, Jesse Poynton, a voting member.
Good evening.
And we also have here on my left, Ernie Angelos, the board solicitor.
Good evening.
Jonathan Matt, the Township Zoning Officer, and Joanne Kelso, our stenographer. Welcome. Jesse, you want to lead us with a pledge? Get us started. You're able.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So we have two continued cases and three new cases tonight. The first continued case is case Z25-37. This is John Wolfington of Wolfington Companies, owner of record of 701 Preston Avenue in Havertown, PA. We had read the caption before. If anyone wants me to reread it, I will. But otherwise, I think we can go on the existing record so far. This case was continued for some additional information to be presented by the applicant. Do you want to come up? Okay. I presume, were you sworn in on the last?
Not on the last one.
Okay, so I'll swear everyone in again. It's fine. Let's do it quickly.
Supplemental drawing.
Okay.
And we do have additional documents as well.
I'm sorry?
We have additional documents as well.
Okay. Speak in the microphone because there are people who may be watching on TV.
All good. Yeah, we have additional documents as well, just signatures from the neighbors. Air enforcement.
Right.
F-O-R-S-M-A-N.
All right, Tom, good to see you again. All right, so I'll need to swear you in.
Sure.
Okay. Do you swear or the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, and your name and address for the record?
23 East Eagle, Wiedemann Architecture.
Okay. So you're here with Tom on behalf of the applicant?
Yes.
All right. Why don't you tell us what the additional information is that you wanted to do before, and then we can go to public comment and all that.
Sure. So the additional information is just some clarifying dimensions mainly regarding the footprint. So there is a third page now, which shows front setbacks of the entire street. So most of them were relatively within the front setback, give or take. Some were maybe, the front setback is a 20-foot minimum. So some were within maybe 2 feet, so like 18 feet, 19 feet, but a majority were around that general area. And then also there's additional documentation as well of just supporting signatures from the neighbors.
Okay. So did you do a median analysis of the setbacks?
So I walked the street and physically measured from the curb line and then subtracted from the right-of-way.
Okay. I believe that Ernie, right? We're supposed to be getting a median analysis?
That's what I understood.
All right. So why don't you, have you given out the other information?
No, it's just signatures, but.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll, I don't know. Actually, I do. So do you want to attach, list this as Exhibit A6, I think?
Sure.
So I believe that's what you're up to? Okay, and how do you want to describe, this is 3 pages?
Just revised site drawings.
And would this supersede then the proposed site plan that was Exhibit A5?
Yes.
Okay, and then your other one, you have a list of, you have a setback analysis or?
No, this is signatures from some of the neighbors. It's 4 signatures, but for 5 properties.
Okay.
One owner owns two properties.
Okay. So how many pages is it? We have to describe it so we can.
All good.
For the record.
I believe 4 pages, and I have 7 copies, one for each of you.
And anything else that you plan to submit tonight?
No, that should be all the additional documentation.
Okay. Okay, yeah, why don't you hand those out so that we have them? And John, you'll, at the end of this, you'll move to submit these new exhibits into the record?
Yes. John, J-O-H-N, Wolfington.
Okay. Let's see, I know we just got these plans, so, I don't know, Jessica, do you have any questions about?
Sure.
Any of the new exhibits or anything about the application?
So just to confirm, the plan for the house has not changed at all, correct?
No, it has not.
And so during the last meeting, it was stated that this new house would look like all the other houses on the block in terms of the front setback. Do you want to edit that statement now that you have measured?
No, it will be protruding a little further than the sorry, it will be protruding a little further than the median, I guess, setback line,
So by a little further, you mean about 10 feet further?
give or take, yeah.
Okay. So that's more than a little, I would say, don't you think?
Yeah.
Okay. And then this letter that was distributed to the neighbors doesn't detail what the zoning variance is at all that was required? Were the plans that were submitted actually highlighting how close to the street the house would be?
They were provided a copy of the plans from, I believe, the last round, so not the one with the 3rd page currently, but they were explained about what the new property would look like and how close it would be to the property line, everything like that.
Okay, I have no other questions.
Ed, any?
I'm a little confused with Jessica's comment there. What is the house next to this? It's only 5 feet setback?
So that's a side setback that's more focused on Haverford Road.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so the only one you have on the map here is 20 feet. Better than that?
If you look on the 3rd page, it has all the front setbacks.
Okay. I have no other question.
No other?
No.
Jesse?
The property that's directly across the street, I think that says 727. There's a 13 feet dimension. I assume that's a house that faces onto Haverford Road?
It's a detached garage for the house that faces Haverford Road.
So there's two. There's a 13-foot dimension and a 7-foot dimension. Which building is?
Sorry, the 13-foot is the main home, the 7-foot is the detached garage.
Okay, so and then again, this is the side yard of Haverford Road?
Yes.
Okay, so directly across the street, there's a detached garage that is the rear garage for the property on 727 Haverford Road.
Yes.
And that's 7 feet because that's the side yard, okay. And remind us again for the record, the 721-725 Haverford Road that has the 5'6", that is, what is that? Is that the side yard setback of the home that faces?
Yeah, I believe it's 2 or 3 different units. I don't know if it's one combined property, but it's multiple backyards and it's their side setback.
Okay. No other questions, thanks.
So just to be clear then, you're not really using 727 Haverford Road or 72125 Haverford Road as examples for this street, are you? Because those are side yard setbacks.
No, in terms of front setbacks, no.
And the narrowest, or the most significant encroachment of all the houses that you calculated here on Preston,
I believe it was 18 feet.
18 feet. So there's someone who's roughly 2 feet, 10% within the 20-foot front yard setback,
Yeah, about, yeah.
and you're going 50% in. And why is it that you need to go so far into the front yard setback?
Because of the depth of the existing lot. So if you look on the third page, I also included a diagram of just showing the size of the surrounding sites. And it's about a third of the depth of all the adjacent properties on that street. And if you look on the second page, the proposed site plan ZBA-2, I also highlighted the buildable area by right. And it's only about, I think it was 5 feet deep by 22 feet wide.
And did you ever look in the history of this parcel? Was it subdivided from the Haverford Road property?
I did not personally. Not that we're aware of.
So looking on page 3 of Exhibit A6, where you're showing the lots, this had been 0.18 parcel number, which looks like it was subdivided off 0.17.
So I'd need to see which one you're clarifying.
Maybe 0.19.
You think it was originally shaped as an L? 019 was shaped as an L?
My guess would have been 017, if anything.
Right,
Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the corner lot there.
yeah. So historically, this was a problem created by a prior owner who subdivided off the back 40 of this lot, that fronted on Haverford Road, creating a front yard setback where the side yard is. And now the goal is to subdivide this same lot even further. Is that right?
No, we're just using the
Just
current
using it,
lot,
okay.
yeah.
But you're going to tear this house down and build a new house. Is that it?
Yes.
The existing house is in complete disarray. We actually looked at maybe rehabbing the existing house, but it really, if you ever walk through it, you would think it hasn't been lived in for 50 years. There's a big hole in the roof. It's kind of like caving in. It's an absolute mess. We don't even think the foundation's crumbling. There's really nothing you can do with the existing house. A lot of rot, mold, all the plasters basically fell off the walls. It's a mess.
Could you state, though, what the front yard setback was for the current house there on the property?
I can pull it up for you real quick.
It's slightly outlined. It's hard
18,
to see.
18'5".
And yours is what? Your proposal is what? 18.5, right?
No, so the existing is 18'5", and the proposed is at the 10 feet. And all the other setbacks are either at the existing or being pulled in.
Like, for example, we pulled in the rear setback. It was, like, 2 feet to 4 feet.
Yeah, the rear was only 2.5 feet, so we pulled that in.
back, and we pulled the side, did we pull the side in too?
We pulled one side in about another
We
2
pulled the
feet.
side- We pulled the rear in, and we pulled the side in from the existing.
There is the, if you're looking on the proposed site plan, there is the existing dashed in lightly. So you should be able to see just kind of the comparison between the two.
Very hard to see, it's very low. You can't see it, I'll try to point it out to you.
In your argument, I'm sorry, Bill.
No, go ahead.
Your argument of why you need to go up to the 10-foot setback is why?
Well, we're just trying to make it a marketable house. We're not trying to make it large. The original house, again, was pushed back basically to the property line. We pushed it in 4 feet in the rear. We pushed it in from the side over. We just want to make the house marketable, normal size, that, like, if we look at the other new construction houses built on that street, lots are bigger, granted, but the houses are much larger. So we're talking about 3,500 square feet compared to, I think we are 2,400 square feet or less.
Around 22,
22, sorry,
Yeah,
22.
the footprint's right about
750, give or take.
750.
Yeah, 750 square feet.
Tom Wiedemann,
Tom, you were sworn in on the last meeting in this case, right?
yeah.
Tom, at the last meeting, I asked you a question about the windows, and you said you were starting to look at the windows and if they were impacted by how close you are since you're, at 4-foot setback. Have you guys continued to look at that? Is there going to be any kind of limitations on the amount of windows due to the proximity?
Possibly on the left side, that would be the only one.
Because I guess what I'm trying to get at is that when we present that it'll be in character with the neighborhood, if you end up having a house that ends up having, too few windows, it's already 50% into the setback, that's kind of what I'm getting at, is the character of it. Are you going to end up having to have a more blank wall because of the proximity to the setback?
No, each one of those bedrooms on the side would have one window.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, anything else that you want to submit to us for this? Anyone else have any questions, I guess?
Just one, is there any way that you can reduce that root amount requested, needed for that front yard setback? I definitely agree that you have a hardship here. I don't know how that lot ever got made like this, but 10 feet is very short.
Sure.
We have to, that's, if there's a compromise.
Yeah, we had talked to the owner about possibly pushing it back another 2 feet. Then you have a 6-foot, porch in the front. Really, that's like a covered porch is what it's supposed to look like.
So instead of having only 10-foot setback,
That would bring it to
12
at that point.
that's my thought.
And on one side, you've got the corner property, which is 5, and then the other side is 20.
Make it 18.
It was really about getting a proper sized first floor, because it was all just dictated by getting proper living spaces on that first floor. So.
Thank you. That's all I have.
I mean,
Jessica, any other questions? Jesse? All right. With that, I guess I will ask, unless you guys have anything else you want to put in the record? No?
well, I know the corner house, it's the side setback, but if you are going down the street, you'll see that we're still much further in than that.
Come up to the microphone.
I know the corner units, the sides, that house is side setback, but we set back, significantly from that. Their side setback is basically the whole side of their house. It's very narrow in the front on Haverford Avenue. The whole house is basically, runs up to our house, and that's only 5 feet. So we do set back from that structure, and it's a pretty significant structure on that corner. And I think it will, we'll try to, I think it'll be a positive addition to the street. Right now, it's a dilapidated wreck. And I think it will conform and look like it conforms very well on that street. It won't look oddball, out of place, because a lot of the houses on that street they're all different. They were all built at different times. They're all different styles. Everything new being built, I'm not saying they're exactly the same, but I think will conform with the new construction that is being built on that street. And we will be set back from that large corner house that sits right next to us.
John, would you acknowledge, though, that on your street, the houses that front onto your street, onto this block of Preston, that the setbacks, the front yard setbacks on all of these are ranging from 33 feet to 18 something, 18 feet 6 maybe, 18 feet. But that, you're only proposing 10 feet, right?
I acknowledge that, and then, I'll make a compromise if we have to. But some of those houses, if I took a video, you have a lot of walls on the sidewalk, right? And then you have steps that go up, and then you have a retaining wall. Then the house is back from that retaining wall. So just like this property, I think this non-conforming lot has been that way for a very long time. If you look at the property, the fence that surrounds this house, which is like a wrought iron fence, looks very old, okay? I don't think it was done in 1970. But the structure of the yard and the landscaping, if it's 10 or if it's 12, I think it will conform with the street. Again, especially looking at that corner house, that really the majority of it is on our street, even though it's side setback. It's a very deep house with, it's only 5 feet from the sidewalk. We'll sit back from that. And I think it'll be a great addition to the street. And it won't look oddball. It won't be like, wow, look at that house, it's sticking out. I mean, we'll have a decent yard and driveway, and it'll be landscaped properly, and it'll look nice.
And I had one other thing. I know you're comparing it to the houses, the rest of that block. I mean, the property lines there, they're 150 to 170 feet deep. I mean, that's over probably 3 times the size of this. And within 5 years, most of that block's going to be all new houses. I mean, there's people working on at least 2 other sets of twins there, and they're going to be much, much longer.
Oh, but they could do that by right.
They've got the lot for it, yes.
And you don't. That's the difference.
Yep.
All right. Well, let me ask if there's anyone here who received notice in the mail about this case, whether certified or regular mail, who wishes to testify? Anyone else here who's come to testify about this case? Okay. So, John, you do want to enter into the record your new exhibits, correct? And all the exhibits?
Yes.
Okay, so they're been moved in, and so we will close this case. We've got a lot of things on the agenda tonight, as you know. If we can get to a decision tonight, we will try, but our next meeting is in 2 weeks, right? Yep. And so if not tonight, then we will start the meeting with decisions at our next meeting. If we happen to get to it, it could be late. You can always call Jonathan, right, and find out if we were able to get to a decision in the morning. But if not, this will be a decision on at our next meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for bearing with us while we clear up this. Okay, so our next case is also a continued case, case Z25-38, excuse me. We, Not Me Sports LLC, owner of record of 19 East Eagle Road, I won't read the rest of the caption in, well, actually, it's a short one. So DC parcel 22-03-00811-00, who seek a special exception from section 182-404B3D to permit an indoor recreation facility, a special exception from 182-707B to permit the existing non-conforming off-street parking to continue as 0 spaces. Property zone C3 and is in the 3rd ward. So, hello again. I think I believe that everyone here, the applicant and you were both sworn, right? And your traffic consultant's not here, but Matt, right?
Correct.
Others. Okay, so why don't you tell us what's in the new exhibit package?
Nick Keneally, representing the applicant. There are exhibits marked A11 through A15 that was previously provided earlier this week. I did add exhibit A16 this evening, which is their programming schedule, which you'll see has a certain amount of time in between each program because we understand some of the concern was parking and people clearing out. The first exhibit that I'll ask Matt to identify is A11, which is the floor plan that you may recall that the board requested. So Matt, remember you're still under oath, and I'm going to show you A11, and you can you describe for the board what A11 represents?
Let me use the microphone.
Sure, go ahead.
So there's 2 main play spaces in the building, and on the right side, there's a wall that divides the whole space in half. So on the right side is a half basketball court. It's a hardwood court. We will use multiple sports on there, but for all intents and purposes, it's a half basketball court. And then on the left side, it will be a turf playing field, which will also be for multiple games and sports.
Matt, you also heard me just to mention a programming schedule that's marked as A16. So why don't we describe to the board, that has been marked as the last exhibit in the pack. As I mentioned, it was not provided to Mr. Mount previously. I have added it this evening. Can you describe to the board what A16 represents?
Sure. The main thing I wanted to highlight and hopefully try to avoid some of the transitions in between the programs, particularly in the evenings when traffic or parking are more limited. So looking at the Monday through Thursday, that's the only time we're offering the sports clinics. And you can see there's sport clinic 1, 2, and 3. So we built in a half an hour buffer. We only wanted to be able to offer 3 sessions a night. I originally had 5 to 6, 6 to 7, but with the little kids, we always only do 45-minute sessions as it is. So that's no skin off our back. And what it allows us to do is just have a safer transition. People get out. There's another 15, 20, 30 minutes before the other ones would show up. So we hope that helps. We hope that helps the case.
I'm going to show you what has been marked as A12, and one of the requirements when request last time is how this complies with the comprehensive plan requirements. And I've marked as A12 certain areas of the comp plan, and then have attached as copies those pages related to that area. And could you possibly just describe to the board how this use complies with the comprehensive plan?
Sure. This plan and what we'll probably talk about next with the surveys from Discover Haverford is really the impetus for me even wanting to open this facility here in Havertown. Things are going well for our current programs, but I saw a specific need and a way to help the community, and that just fit in with what we are already doing naturally, except we always rent and we're limited when we rent. So this would allow us to have a more permanent footprint. So a couple things that the comprehensive plan highlight talks about by bringing in an anchor business, it allows that district to qualify for more funding, and it allows them to become more of a Main Street program, which will Yeah, which will help them access more funding for stuff not for my building, but for the streets and for the public spaces. They also talk about this need for a walkable, healthy district and having a sports-centric, movement-centric business right in the middle, in the heart of Havertown, will certainly help them with that aim. And then just bringing more tax revenue to the township, hiring Haverford High kids to help with the programs will certainly be helpful as well.
Does it enhance the walkability of the Oakmont area?
Certainly. I was at our basketball clinic tonight. This is obviously anecdotal, but one of the dads asked how it was going with this. I said, we have another meeting. He goes, oh, I can't wait to walk with my kids. This is going to be a lot closer than the school that we were at tonight. And that's the kind of on-the-street feedback we keep getting is, I can't believe how many families do live within a walkable zone.
Now, in that regards too, and you mentioned Discover Haverford, Mr. Duran was at the last meeting and spoke favorably about the project, but in particular as to Discover Haverford, which has been marked as A13.
Go.
And I believe there is an item in that program that talks about the type of uses sought by residents. Can you
Sure.
describe this?
If you go through the Discover Haverford packet, you'll see several surveys, but if you find the one titled Services or Non-Retail Businesses, it'll be at the bottom of the page. And this was the main source of inspiration for me to think that there was a need. I have ideas, but it was nice to see that people in the community literally responded to a survey. And of the 9 or so types of businesses, we will provide 4 of the 9, a party center, a play space for children, a special event venue, and specifically the sports facility.
Final, or not finally, but A14, did you actually walk around the Oakmont area and count parking spaces?
I've gone every day. I've gone every day since the last meeting. My wife thinks I'm nuts, but so there's actually been a few days when construction has gone on. So I've driven right back home when that happened. But no, I was there basically every day, just taking pictures. So I was trying to get a decent snapshot. So I went about 3 different times of the day and was actually pretty surprised to see what I found.
And one thing, though, you didn't even count the on-street parking. Remember I mentioned that
No,
to you? You didn't even count the street.
I didn't need to.
on-street, there and across the street. You did not
I didn't.
count.
I looked at 3 lots, and I forgot the name of it, but I wrote behind the building. There's 19 spots right behind it. I changed it to Oakmont. That's the one behind Katz, and then Grace Chapel. And I know we were a little dismissive of Grace Chapel, but there are most of the times of the week they do make available to other businesses.
So if you can tell the board what you found out.
Sure.
For your study.
So actually, I went multiple times throughout the day, and Monday through Thursday, when we offered the most programs and the most in a day, then I found that it's pretty much true for each of these time slots, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., 12 to 2, 3 to 5, 5 to 7. Sorry if this is pretty hyperbolic, but it felt closer to a ghost town than worrying about overflow parking. And I actually got really encouraged outside of even having to get over this hurdle, just my own, will my families find it convenient enough to come visit? That's something I always worry about with our gyms that we're renting. And I was incredibly encouraged by the amount of spots. If you look at the charts that I made.
For example, if you could.
So for instance, weekday, Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., 15 spots, multiple days right behind the building, 20 spots in the Oakmont lot, and another 25 practically the entire Grace Chapel. The main concern are the Friday and Saturdays. That's, I don't want to skip over that. I included Sunday in that as well. Friday during the day is wide open. I did not expect to see that. Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., 12 p.m. to 2 p.m., 40-plus spots, not counting street spots, in those 3 lots. Friday night was the tightest. Friday was tighter than Saturday night. And maybe that was just the times that I went. Perhaps that changes from week to week, but still 15-plus spots on a Friday night. I forget exactly the time. It was like 5:45 or 6:30 p.m. I thought Brick and Brew and Barada would have brought a lot more people then. Maybe it was later in the night, but we would have been wrapped up by 7 or 8 p.m. at that point. Saturday night, because of Grace Chapel, wide open, but Saturday and Sunday continued to offer more spots than I expected to find.
Did you also take some photographs?
Yes, so if you were to keep going through the packet, you would see, so you don't have to just take my biased word for it. I tried to have some kind of photographic evidence.
And you will recall, at least according to code, the parking requirement for this use is 7 parking spaces. In that regards, Mr. Mount was nice enough to send me the zoning history, and it was a lot of documents, that we saw, transcripts and everything. And A15 basically is an analysis of the zoning history for this site, and I attached the actual either decisions or use and occupancy permits. It started with 1996 with MAPES 5 and 10, and that was a retail use, as you would all know, and the requirement number of parking spaces for that use was 33. No zoning relief was required, permit issued, is attached as Exhibit A. In 2006, the Kangaroo U use came in, and they were half indoor rec and half retail. And as a result, that required 23 spaces. Again, the zoning relief granted is attached to A15 as Exhibit B. 2012, Grace Chapel actually purchased the property. They were indoor recreation, very similar to what the applicant's requesting. They require 7 parking spaces according to code. No zoning relief was required for Grace Chapel. A UNO was issued, which is attached as Exhibit C. And finally, in 2021, Empirical Financial, the office use, purchased the property from Grace Chapel. They were an office use. They did require 33 spaces. They did get, as part of the sale agreement, there were spaces leased from Grace Chapel on that. And then that brings us to today and today's applicant.
So for the record, so just to stop you there, the 7 that you referenced, could you just go through the math for us, how you get to the 7, just so that we have it on the record?
Yeah, in the zoning ordinance, there is 1 per 1,000 for recreational use, and there's 7,000 square feet approximately, and that's where it's 1 per 1,000 and the 7 come in.
Jesse, any other questions?
And so going back to the new Exhibit A11, I don't see a calculation. I see individual square footage, but so essentially, the first floor is the only floor that's accessible to the public, is that right?
Yeah, the other zoning decisions all reference 7,000,
Okay.
a little less than 7,000.
Right.
Yeah, I guess we would have to put a rule on it, but
Right,
as I
understood.
mentioned, the other zoning decisions all reference 7,000,
7,000,
approximately
okay.
7,000.
And right, and the basement, for the record, the basement's that's not going to be public
Correct.
use, so you're not
Storage
counting
only.
that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Good. All right. Jessica?
On your programming schedule, it mentions indoor playground 1 and 2. What are those spaces on Exhibit A11?
Probably both. We were thinking if it's around the 10 to 12 kid amount, they would all be on the turf. If it gets to be higher, it would be more of an age split. 3 and 4 or 4 and 5 on the court, so a little bit more running around. And the left will have more things to climb on or hang from. So I'm going to have to kind of read the room and make the safest choice so that, because there will be 1-year-olds and there will be a fenced-off area for them. So the main concern is that the 4-year-olds their lack of awareness can be safe on the one side.
And that kind of hanging and climbing and fencing equipment, is that mostly what you'll be storing in the basement when you're using it more for sports clinics? Is that all flexible?
I needed to be super modular because at night, that turf, we might do 5-year-old soccer on the turf, but I don't want to necessarily, this is just kind of like the logistics of it. I don't want to have to go down the basement every time. That flex area I'm keeping open right now so that I can put the blocks and anything that would be out for the playground, I can just easily put out of the way of a game, but kind of easy within reach for me.
So that flex area isn't a third activity area per se?
I think during indoor playground, I'm considering having a bit of a quiet room. Tell me if I'm off the mark there with this age group, but we want to have some tables and let them play, get the energy out. Now I need a snack. Now I want to read. I want to play blocks. Something else that's a little different and away from the playing. But they're not ready to go home yet. They paid for 2 hours.
Okay. And then at the last meeting, we talked a little bit about a drop-off sequence in the township lot behind the building. Did you have a chance to talk to the township about if they had any issues with that?
No, I think what we decide what we're going to need to do, the person's going to have to park in one of the parking spaces. I think that's how the
Okay.
best drop-off is going to be. And we think we have sufficient parking space, particularly during the day, when it's right on the street. And then even mass survey kind of shows that there's available parking. But yeah, we looked at it and there is really, I don't know how we would drop off there,
Okay.
in that area. I think they're going to have to use a parking spot.
Jessica, let me add, I think part of your question last time was also like, how do we stop them from dropping off on Eagle Road? And I mean, that will be hard, but let me just say that tried to pride myself on repeated effective communication. So it's just going to have to be in everything I send out. And then also when that would potentially happen, it's the 6 and 7-year-olds coming out. And I don't know any parents who would let the 6-year-olds out on Eagle Road. So it's just going to have to say, find a spot. There should be plenty, but you can't do that.
Thank you. I don't have any other questions.
Thank you. Ed, any questions?
I don't know if you'll agree with me, but the parking requirements, this doesn't fit the mold of anything in our code. But I think it fits more closely to the one, playing fields and courts. 1 space for every 3 players plus 1 space for every 5 spectators.
Well, we said how many players would you have there at one time, the max?
Max 20.
So kind of almost the same, it's still 7.
Well, go ahead and do that now so we can get it on the record, because I think that is closer.
Okay.
You have 2 courts.
I did see that, yeah. No, I wouldn't, we're referencing, let me pull up the ordinance.
Does what you reference, Ed, is that full fields or full courts?
Does not say, it just says 1 space for every 3 players. So that doesn't mean, I guess it could be a pickleball court.
Yeah. What's the max number of players you would see there? Or when we say players or students or children would be there at any one time?
The max would be 20.
So according to code, then the parking requirement would be 6 point, which means 7.
Okay. And that 20 is, and that's the tot night too, where the mother and child has to be there. That's the 20 max?
Yes, when I say 20, I am talking about the participants, the children,
Okay.
who are only being driven by,
Not really
Parent.
spectators that you would?
no.
Okay.
None.
And you said that the last use, which had approval, only required 7 spaces as well?
I'm sorry, which one?
The last,
Oh, the
Active
Grace
use.
Chapel?
no, it wasn't Grace Chapel, it was some,
Empirical finance.
Empirical finance, that was the office use. That would have required 33 spaces.
that was 33
Because one per
spaces.
200.
Okay. Doesn't
One
seem
per
to
200 square feet, yeah, and I guess the theory there is how many people are you going to put in there? And they're all driving during rush hour, and they all got to park somewhere. So I think that's why that number is probably higher than than the use we're proposing.
Okay. The other thing that I had a question on last time, and I don't know whether you answered it in your packet, is whether or not you actually talked to the township about that drop-off issue in the old township building parking lot?
No, he had not.
Okay, I didn't hear you. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. And anything else you guys
That's
want
it.
to get
Just
on the record? Okay.
Request the exhibits be made part of the record.
Okay, so be it. So let me ask, is there anyone here who received mail from the township, certified or regular, who wishes to testify on this case? Anyone who received, or anyone else here who is here for this case? All right. With that, we'll close the record on this case. You heard my discussion a while ago. We'll see how the evening goes. But if not, we have a meeting in 2 weeks, and now this is a closed case, so we will have a decision at least by the beginning of the next meeting, if not tonight. I just can't promise it. I don't know how long it's going to go.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hartman, Hartman.
I was wondering if you could. I may just.
Yeah. So just while you give us a second to shuffle our papers, the next case, we're going to stay on the agenda. So the next case will be Z25-34 Pro Plus Contracting LLC, owner of 307 Bewley. Just give us 1 second.
No, that wouldn't.
Okay. Back-to-back cases. Nick, are you here by yourself?
No.
Okay. Okay, so the next case on the agenda tonight is case Z25-34 Pro Plus Contracting LLC, owner of 307 Bewley Road, Havertown, DC parcel 22-02-00018-00, who seeks variances from section 182-206C.6A to allow the existing building to encroach on both side yard setbacks from 182-703A3 and 182-703B1 to allow the existing pool to encroach on the new side yard setback, and section 182-713B to allow a variance to allow the existing building to maintain its existing nonconformities. The project is zoned R4 and is in the 2nd Ward. Nick, welcome back.
Good evening.
Good evening. You'll present the case on behalf of your client, right?
We will, yeah,
And
and we
then-
have 2 witnesses, Chris.
You want me to swear him in right off the bat?
Sure, please.
Okay. Chris, step up to the microphone, because there are people who may be watching this on TV and they wouldn't otherwise hear you.
Okay.
So do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And your full name and address for the record, please?
Christopher Charles Yon, Y-O-H-N. I'm at 173 Persimmon Drive in Collegeville, PA, 19426.
Do you go by Chris, Christopher, what do you prefer?
Chris is good.
Chris, okay. And do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
And your full name and address for the record, please?
Yes, it's Tan Vu. The address is,
So do you need to spell it? You got it?
oh,
Okay.
yes. Oh, it's, first name is spelled T-H-A-N-H, last name Vu, V-U.
And how do you spell the last name? I'm sorry.
Oh, V as in Victor, U as in umbrella.
Okay.
Yes.
And Ton, you and Chris, are you co-owners or?
Tyler's the owner. Tyler's the owner, Chris is the civil engineer on the project.
Okay, got it.
I've handed up an exhibit packet. This includes the exhibits that you received with the application. There's a couple others that have been included. I felt probably was easier just to hand up a whole new packet, and I've marked them as A1 through,
Okay.
A, whatever the final number is. This is very similar to a case that you heard last month, actually, that Christian was a civil engineer for also. Basically, we have a double lot. The idea here is to preserve the existing home. And in this case, initially, that lot was going to be subdivided. It met all the dimensional requirements. But actually now a neighbor has agreed to purchase it, who's present here this evening. And so all we're going to do is a lot line change. So that lot that you see here is going to be added to the neighbor's lot. And he can testify that we're under agreement of sale with it, and that's the intent with it. If you just look quickly through the exhibits, and we'll testify to it, A2 is the deed to the property, indicating that Mr. Vu is the owner. A3 is just an aerial with an arrow on the property, and you see basically that it appears as if there's actually an existing lot next to it. That's the lot that's being, the lot line change that will be added to the property. And then A4, again, is a street view showing the existing home, which is being preserved. And then to the right is the property that's being added as part of the lot line change. A5 is just another aerial, again, showing closer as to the home. This does show the pool. The pool encroaches slightly into the setback. We're asking that the pool be preserved instead of removing a portion of it or removing the pool. The other area, if you're looking from the street from Booley Road, on the left, the setbacks existing. According to the county property card, this property was created in 1914, so clearly before any zoning came into effect in Haverford Township. And then I've also attached the plans A6 through A8 that Mr. Yan can testify to as to having been prepared by him. As I mentioned, what you see on A6 as Lot 2 is now being added to the adjacent lot as part of the lot line change. So Tyler, if you just want to step forward.
So, okay, so I just want to make sure. So the owner of .703 Bewley is purchasing, I'm sorry, 303 is purchasing 305?
Why don't we swear him in? Yeah, they are, yeah. But we'll swear him in.
Yeah, do we need to?
No, no.
Okay, so, and so you're just going to sell the property, or are you going to build it?
No, all it's happening is it's going to be added to his property.
Okay. And so why aren't we drawing the lines where you don't need to worry about the pool encroaching and the side yard setback on this side of the house?
We need to meet the zoning requirements for that lot, or that lot line that's being changed. We
Okay,
still
so
need to
you're,
meet that.
you want to subdivide and leave to the owner of 303 you're going through
But it's,
entitlement.
no, it's not being a subdivision, though. It's just a lot line change. So Chris, maybe you can explain it better than I can. I think Chris has been recognized as an
And-
expert anyway.
All right, so Chris, I just want to make sure, first of all, you're a civil engineer, you've reported before, that you've served as an expert witness as a civil engineer in front of this board before, right?
Yes, I have.
And you currently maintain a license in Pennsylvania as a civil engineer?
Yes, I do.
And your license hasn't been revoked or suspended or otherwise is not currently in valid, full force and effect?
Right, it's valid.
Anyone have any objection to letting him testify as civil engineer? Okay, so, thank you. So you're going to move the lot line, and yet you're seeking you're seeking variances that will apply to this lot, or these are only variances to the existing improved lot?
So a little bit of the confusion has to do with the process. So this is a 100-foot wide lot. We submitted to subdivide into two 50-foot wide lots. We were at that time showing that a new house would be built on the vacant lot that would be created, where right now there's a driveway and a garage. On the half of the lot with the existing home, that was to remain. In the middle of that subdivision process is when the neighbor introduced himself and asked to purchase the new lot as the line is drawn. So we will be changing the plans from a subdivision plan to a lot line change plan, but the lot line will remain in the same place as it's shown on these plans, so that the neighbor maintains the same width.
So the neighbor can come before us and build a house with whatever variances he may need?
He would have to
In
go,
theory.
he would have to go through the subdivision process first, because my understanding, we're going to stop the subdivision and turn it into a lot line change plan. So he would only end up with one lot in the end. In order for him to build a new house, he would have to do a subdivision, whether
Yes,
or
it's
not.
being combined, so his lot's being combined with this lot. And this, the lot, that lot will not, will complies with zoning. We're not asking for relief on that lot. The only
Right.
relief we're asking for is the setback relief.
So you
for
can
the
create a
existing-
non-conforming lot by moving the lot line and then getting variances for the non-conformity on lot one.
I'm sorry.
You're gonna move the you're gonna essentially take the lot two, sell it, but you need, in order to do that, you need variances because you're gonna turn lot one into a non-conforming property.
It's all, well, it's non-conforming.
It's already partially non-conforming. It will become a little more non-conforming, yes.
Okay.
Where it becomes-
Based on existing features that we do
So,
not plan to
all
move.
right.
We're not building anything new on
And
that
if
lot.
we don't, it's a hardship to remove the pool and to remove the existing bay window, which is where the, really where it encroaches on the other lot.
Where's it being combined? Combined with this one on the right. Okay, so this one here. Yeah, the neighbor will combine with lot. Does he own this lot too? He does. Yeah, okay.
So why don't you go ahead and present your case? Don't shy away from the question about the exacerbating results of the relief you're requesting. And also, why this lot line has to be exactly where you were showing it before if you're just gonna sell the lot to a neighbor.
Okay.
Okay.
Howard, you want to step up?
Yes.
You're under it, hold on. Like, what's your relationship to the applicant, Pro Plus Contracting?
I am the owner.
And I've attached as exhibit A2, the deed, and that's the deed to the property that you purchased?
Yes.
Okay, and A3 is an aerial of the property, correct?
Yes.
And it shows a star or asterisk on the property?
Yes.
Correct? And your intent is to preserve that home?
Yes.
That home is non-conforming as to one of the side yard setbacks with 309 Booley?
Yes.
And then on the other side is the lot where the lot line changed, where the line would be created?
Yes.
A4, is that a street view of the property?
Yes.
Again, to the left is the house to be preserved, to the right is the lot that we're referencing.
Yes.
And as to this property, and perhaps it may be better seen on A5, there's a bay window attached to the house that you would need a couple inches of relief on
Yes.
with the new property line that you'd be creating.
Yes.
And then on the left-hand side of the house, you have an existing nonconformity?
Yes.
Is that right? And then the pool, you're asking for relief for the pool as well.
Yes.
And Chris can testify in more detail as to the amount of relief that we're asking for on that. And A6 and through A8, they're the plans drawn by Christian, who's your engineer on this project?
Yes.
Okay. And you're renovating the existing home?
Yes.
You intend to sell that?
Yes.
And is the existing home consistent with the other homes in the neighborhood?
Yes.
And you heard testimony here that initially you were going to create a separate lot, is that right?
Yes.
That you intended to build on?
Yes.
Now, that's not what we're doing now. We're actually combining it with, or doing a lot line change, so it would be combined with your adjacent neighbor's lot, which is to the east of yours.
Yes.
So I'll call Chris as a witness then. Chris. Chris, if you can, again, you've been qualified as an expert previously and this evening as well. Tell us A6, and if you can, ask for the relief that we're requesting here. And as you heard the chairperson, let's not shy away from why we're not moving that lot line
Okay.
further to the right so that it would comply.
So there are 3 plan sheets. We'll start with that. Sheet 1 is the subdivision plan, the record plan. I'm sorry, we'll call it an illustrative site plan that originally showed the house that showed things to be removed. The second sheet is the record plan that would be recorded at the county if it was approved. The third sheet is the existing conditions / vicinity plan. So the first variance is the side yard, the existing side yard of the house. If you're facing the house from the street, it's on the left-hand side. You're required to have 8 feet. The house currently has 4.9. This lot is 100 feet wide, and we need 50 foot of lot width, so there's only one place for the new property line, which is right down the middle. The bay window is 14.4 feet from that new property line. So it well exceeds the minimum of 8 feet. It's the aggregate setback that we need the variance from, because if you add the 4.9 plus the 14.4, you get 19.3. So we are 0.7 feet short of having the required aggregate setback. And then the pool, which is in the rear of the property, the water surface is 8.6 feet from the new property line. So,
Chris, what is required? Is it 10?
10 feet from the water surface.
So it's 8.6, and you need 10, so it's 1.4. Okay.
Yes, and there's 2 sections with the pool, and the other one says 10 feet from the structure, which I believe would also include the coping of the pool, so that would be a little closer than the 8.6 feet. I guess To answer your question, the subdivision line is shown in one place, in the only place it can be shown, in the middle of the lot. And the adjacent property owner would like to purchase that 50 feet.
And it's being combined with his existing lot, correct?
is.
So it's not going to be a separate lot. It's being combined with his existing lot. If he wanted to subdivide it, he would have to go through the township to subdivide it.
Did you, in theory, explore the idea of just of selling that portion of it to him and doing a reverse subdivision into his lot, and then moving that lot line so you don't have to ask for as much relief?
Yeah, we talked about just selling him the lot as is, or after a subdivision, so that he has two separate parcels.
Which suggests that there's a purpose for that, right? So you're selling him an entitled parcel with variances and all that. I'm asking a different question. You don't want to subdivide, and I'm going to guess that he wants to add that property to his property. So again, why don't you just move the line over and avoid any of the variances other than the existing one on the other side yard?
So, and I'm not trying to avoid the question, but I want to give a little more of the history first. So if we just, if we subdivided and sold him the 50-foot wide lot, and he kept them separate, then there's an existing garage and driveway that are accessory uses that couldn't remain on their own without a principal use. He doesn't want to build a new house there, but he would like to keep that garage and driveway.
But if he reverse subdivided that lot into his, then it
could
wouldn't
keep
have
them-
an orphaned accessory uses, right?
That's correct, which is why he wants to do that, do a lot line change so that it can be, but if he does a smaller property line, then the ability, like he's not buying the same value. He's not buying a 50-foot wide lot. He's now buying something smaller.
In fact, he is doing a reverse subdivision, in effect, because he's merging.
I mean,
those two.
ideally, this would have been two joint cases coming in to have him, right?
Well, no, the lot conforms. The
I got it,
The
but you're
separate.
asking for relief on the rump of the property.
on the
That
existing.
you wouldn't need if you moved the line over a little bit.
I understand.
Yeah.
We wouldn't need on two of the, yeah.
Yeah.
We still need it on the other.
Yeah, and that
I
one's,
get it.
that one's an existing, you're not exacerbating that or anything like that.
Yeah, and I guess technically what we can do too is remove the pool and cut back the bay window
But
and then it'll be
understood,
okay.
the whole
Yeah.
goal here is that you wouldn't have to do that if you moved
Yes.
the lot line a little bit closer and you sold him 45 feet instead of 50 feet.
Yeah, that's correct, yeah. I'm not saying this wrong.
Got it. Okay, I understand.
What's his lot here? Do you know?
I believe his is 50, but we don't have the survey yet.
Okay.
Sorry, we're
We're
actively
discussing,
getting the
yeah.
survey for the adjacent property, but we don't have it yet. When I say we, the surveyor is doing that, I'm not the surveyor.
In effect, I think what we're asking is to preserve the pool, and we're going to do this one way or another, and we're just asking to preserve the pool and a portion of the bay window.
Okay. Ed, any questions?
Yeah, so I don't like it because we're not seeing what it was designed for. It's designed for a separate lot. And since you're not willing to move the line over, so your lot actually, the first lot complies, then we still have that problem. We're increasing that density for the bay window and for the pool, when I don't know why we have to do that. And then we don't have anything to show that, on the record, that you could design a house to be in compliance on that second lot.
Yeah, well, the lot complies. The second lot does comply, so they would have to, without coming for
It
variances.
doesn't have
they
a
would have
house
to-
on it, so it doesn't comply with us.
Well, it complies with dimensional requirements for a lot.
Well, we don't know
Lot
that because
area.
we don't see it. We don't see a house that can fit in that area.
We did, the original submission to the township for the subdivision did show a house and compliance with setbacks. This plan does show compliance with the lot width and lot area. It doesn't with setbacks because there's not the new house shown, but the original subdivision plan did show a new house that complied.
And in reality, if the new owner had come in or comes to this board and asks for a variance on setbacks, he's not going to get it. It's self-created, obviously, by the size of this lot. But the size of this lot itself does comply with the zoning requirements. He would have to fit his home with the setbacks.
So you would accept the condition that, I don't know how you can do it, you're gonna sell it, but that the house that would be constructed on this, it's not gonna be a subdivision now. It's going to be just a lot. So in other words, there is not gonna be a subdivision, it's going to be a lot line revision. Does that have the same requirement as a subdivision in the zoning code?
The lot
Chris,
line-
is this essentially, it's a lot line change, but it's essentially a reverse subdivision when you look at it, right?
So-
You're taking the portion of they're taking the 50-foot wide and you're making it part of the other parcel. So now it's a larger parcel, right?
So we were, the original way, when we were doing the subdivision, then the owner was considering taking that extra lot that was created and then doing the reverse subdivision and making it into one, taking the whole 50 feet. We said, well, it would be easier to do a lot line change to just move the line instead of creating a lot and then uncreating it.
I'm the owner of 303.
Yeah, be sworn in.
Oh, sorry.
All right, so do you swear over the testimony you're about to give is the truth,
Yes.
the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
And your full name and address for the record, please.
Richard Schmeiss, 303 Bewley Road, Haverford Town, PA, 19083. And so, we were here like 2 months ago. And it was actually, we were here 2 months ago. We had people do it. And you're the one that said we should extend it because I had the garage and the driveway on there. I do not want to put a house on there. I want to have it simply the fact that, like, my house right now, when I bought it, was a double wide lot. Vince Spizzato split it. I used to have a driveway next to me and a garage on that side, and he put a house on there. So now this is really me taking over almost what our original lot is, a double wide, except on the opposite side, where I have now a driveway and a garage. I do not want to put it there. You're the one who kind of said to me, hey, we should put that out because if I don't get my lot line extended, then I have to tear that garage down. And I also know from insurance, because I know my insurance, because I also have another property, it's adjacent to mine, that I have to pay extra with no one there. So I have no intention to put a house on there, do anything. I just don't want a house there.
Okay, so Richard, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
If you were willing to buy 50 feet wide of a lot, would you be willing to buy 45 feet wide of a lot and let them keep 5 feet so that they could move the lot line and not need the variances that they're asking for?
See, here's the only thing I don't understand with the variance. If I'm not doing anything with it, and I'll testify, or whatever it is, that I cannot put a house on there, it is empty lot. It is empty land.
I'm not worried about that lot that you're buying. I'm worrying about the variances that they're needing to preserve the existing property and the improvements, the pool, the bay window, and all that. And to do that, they're asking us to grant variances to allow new nonconformities that are only going to arise by the subdivision of this parcel and in theory, the
Well,
conveyance.
I think the
to-
bay window's on the opposite side. Am I correct?
No, it's on this side.
Is it on this side? Okay, I just was like it going here.
So we understand the goal of not having to gratuitously tear down or stuff or remove a
Yeah.
pool or anything. And the question for us is, our job isn't to create non-conforming property.
Yeah.
Our goal is to try to comply with the code and do things. Here, there seems like a solution, which is just sell you a slightly narrower track so that they have a little bit more on the side yard setback, which would create more buffer for you too. But I don't know, if that's not in the cards, then we'll just deal with the facts that were presented here and whether we think that they've proven the case.
Yeah, no, I mean, for me, it's just as like, I've negotiated a deal with them already. I have them, like, I mean, listen, I have, no offense, spent a lot of money. I have like loans, like all this stuff to go through. This is all going to delay. This is all going to cost more money out of my pocket. And then we have to renegotiate. That means I got to pay more lawyer fees and all this stuff. So I really would like not to do that and just go with it, which I think is, like, once again, he knows. It's just, it's very, to me, it's very simple.
But
Richard,
you're not making the decision here,
Richard,
right?
are you willing, let me ask you a question. Are you willing to accept a condition if this were granted that you would not be able to build a home on this lot?
Absolutely.
I don't know if that's enforceable, but we understand your point.
Only because the requested relief is for lot 1, not necessarily for lot 2, so the conditions would be placed on lot 1, because that's where the relief's being requested, so I don't think we could effectively put a condition on there, on lot 2.
Well, it's one property right now, though. So if you put a condition on it, it would affect this particular property. And it would carry on to the subdivide or the lot line change as well. Because the application's for this address, which is this entire property. So I think you can. That's kind of what I was saying. Because it would carry on. I guess the question,
But at
so
some
we
point-
do have an
at
agreement.
some point, that 50 feet is no longer going to be part of this address. It's going to
Right,
change.
but it still would, the zoning relief would still carry on. It carries on, as you know, perpetually with the property.
Yeah. At the end of the day, yeah.
Okay. Ed, any more questions?
No, other than the other option would be, but it doesn't address your problem of trying to not get a non-conforming lot. But if there was possible that they could agree to do a non-development easement on that lot, so it could never be developed. There's other ways they could handle it.
That's actually
A
a
conservation
restriction, yeah, a restriction on it. I just did something similar in another township that we put a restriction on it, and the restriction was approved by the solicitor, and it was recorded before anything could be done.
Might be able to do a deed restriction.
Yeah, that's what we're thinking, yeah.
Do a deed restriction between the two owners. That they can't build on it.
Right. And if I may, I would suggest that I would prepare it, send it to Mr. Angelos for his approval. That would be a condition that the solicitor would have to approve it. And it would have to be recorded too, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, recorded with the deed.
Right. That's true, yeah, we can just do it with deed, yeah.
Richard, one question. Are you planning to erase the lot line and eventually have a 100-foot wide lot for 303?
Yeah.
Okay, that's your intention?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what this will do.
Okay,
yeah.
I just wanted to get that on the record really
Yeah,
clearly.
that's what this
Okay, thank you.
That's my intention.
Thanks.
Thank you. Jessica?
I don't have any questions.
All right. Nick, do you have more testimony or exhibits or anything?
Just requesting exhibits be made part of the record, please.
Yes, of course. Okay. All right. So with that, I will ask if anyone here who has received certified mail from the township and wants to testify in this case? Anyone who received regular mail and wants to testify in this case? Anyone at all who's here who wants to testify in this case? Okay. So, Don, Nick, Chris, we'll close the record. Don't know where we'll be later on, but if not tonight, then it'll be one of the decisions to kick off the next meeting. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I back this guy too. I'm a neighbor of Penn. I back him. What he wants to do, I approve.
Okay, so the next new case we'll call is KC 25-39, Zachary Spiker, owner of 159 Bewley Road in Havertown, DC parcel 22-02-01-067-50, who seeks a variance from section 182-206C7 to permit the construction of a deck on the rear of an existing residence, measuring 15 feet from the rear wall and thereby creating a rear yard setback of 19.67 feet where 25 feet is required. The property is zoned R4 and is in the second ward. So you probably recognize the people who are up before here since they're kind of your neighbors. So this is Bewley Road night here at Zoning Hearing Board. You're Zach?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Zach, so I need to swear you in, right? So do you swear or aver that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, and your name and address for the record?
Yep, my name is Zach Spiker, and I live at 159 Bewley Road in Havertown.
Okay, so Zach, okay to call you Zach?
Yep, that's
Hey,
fine.
Zach, so what would you like us to learn about your house and your case and what the relief you want?
Yeah, I think, given the other cases that have been before you tonight, I think this is a bit simpler and more straightforward. And frankly, just looking to add an outdoor living space off of our living room, which is next to our kitchen, a chance for our family to be outside when the weather is great and enjoy our backyard.
And Zach, I'll just some basic questions.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
outdoor living space, the agenda item refers to this as a deck. So
Yes.
off your
Yes,
living room
it
and
is a
kitchen,
deck.
it's a second story living room?
It's the first floor. It's the first floor.
Okay,
So it's
first
about
floor.
4 feet with a door.
So it's 4 feet above the ground?
That's correct.
Okay.
I would say 3.5 to 4 feet. I'm not exactly sure on that. We have right now a stairwell, 3 steps that was kind of slapped on there, I would say, at the end of the process of negotiating, just to have something go down the back door into our backyard when we closed. That was about 9 years ago in August. That small 3 steps is deteriorating with weather and time, and it has been something we have envisioned to put a deck on there to walk out from our back door since we've been there, and now have kind of put that as more of a priority. So that's what we'd like to do. It does affect most directly 3 families that are kind of surrounding our property. 2 of those 3 families are here tonight in support, and I think that that's important, that it is not something that we're looking to infringe on anybody anywhere in the neighborhood. I do have pictures from dimensions, if that's helpful for you to submit here tonight.
Yeah, sure. So when you do that, Zach, we're going to need to mark each one or mark them as a group, but then identify them in the record as an exhibit. So,
Before you do that, I
Yeah.
was just thinking it might be helpful that you had some documents in your packet that might be worth adding to that exhibit list. The deed, the impervious coverage calculations that I saw, I think is a site plan, right?
Yes.
so why don't we go off the record? We'll take a minute.
Yep.
Take it 2 minutes. If anyone wants to use the bathroom, they can do that. And Ernie will help you get labels on each of the things and set up your exhibit package. And then you can simply say Exhibit A1 is this and describe it into the record.
Great.
And then we'll enter it into the record. So otherwise, it's not going to be formally part of the record. So we want it to be.
Let's do that.
Okay, so Jeff, we'll go off the record for a minute or two. All right, we're resuming the meeting of the Haverford Township Zoning Hearing Board of November 6, 2025. Zach, you had a chance to put together your exhibit package. Do you want to just walk us through what you've got here is for your, it looks like 4 exhibits?
Yep, I've got 4 exhibits as mentioned. One, just the deed. A1 will be our deed of our property. 2 will be the impervious calculation sheet. And then 3 would be a site map, albeit a little bit from the original drawings that we were given of the property when we moved in. So it's even got a house on a proposed lot that there's no house there. But the focal point would be on the site map, the blue ink where it talks about 20 feet right there. It's a deck off the back of the furthest house, the house on the right there.
Okay.
So those are the 3 things. And then I have 2 more photos, corresponding photos and pictures of what the proposed deck would be like. I'd like to submit those as exhibits A4, both those photos, so.
Okay, so A4 will have 2 photos.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so why don't you walk us through, maybe for your, I don't think we have questions yet about the deed or the impervious coverage calculation, but the site plan and the dimensions that you're looking for and
Yep.
why you need the deck to encroach into the rear yard setback.
Well, the site plan, as I said earlier, I apologize, it's a bit busy because it has what Rick Fuller, the original builder, had proposed to have 2 houses. Only 1 house was built on the property at that point in time. So we're just focusing on, honestly, the blue ink right there, the stairs that come off the house, all right? Those stairs that I have written in the site plan are not infringing on the setback. So those stairs would be added to not make the setback any further than it is. So the reason for the setback, as you can see, I tried to map it out at a ground level here on the photo. So everything you see there, I guess I could use my mouse here and say that you see this first orange line right here is the what we could do without even coming here to a meeting, right? There's about 5 feet, 4 inches between this line and this line right here. And simply, as you can see, we're just trying to walk out the door, have an eating space, maybe a sitting space, a grill there, and then the stairs right here would walk down into the remainder of our yard, okay? So nothing overly complex. Sure, 18 feet would be better than 15 feet. Right, but we're not trying to overdo it and be exorbitant. That is the fence that splits our yard with our neighbors, the Sidners, who are here tonight. It goes into their backyard right there. So you're looking at still this furthest line.
I just want, they're your neighbors to your side or to the rear of your property?
This is the Sidners. They're here tonight.
To the rear of your property?
To the rear, correct. And I would say it probably affects them the most. Our neighbors to the right are the Smiths, Mike and Andrea Smith. And then, I guess if you could follow the mouse right here, this is John and Christine McLaughlin. They're further towards the front of our property. And Mr. Mack is here as well. So, like I said, 2 of our 3 bordering neighbors are here tonight.
Okay. Okay, Jessica, any questions?
So the site plan that you submitted shows your existing patio as being 12 feet deep off of the house. And if you look at that site plan, it is already within the 25-foot rear yard setback, which is permitted because it's on grade and it's a patio. What you sketched out as what you're allowed to do, is that the orange line you testified, the front orange line?
There's 2 orange lines, so this would have been what is allowed.
And did you measure that from your rear fence?
I measured that, yes, rear fence, and then also I'm showing feet from the back of the house.
So that orange line in front of the chair is 25 feet from your
From
back
here.
fence?
Correct, 25 feet from here. And
So
then this
then-
line is 19 feet from here. Does that make sense?
That makes sense, but it doesn't really match with the plan that you submitted, which shows your patio being 12 feet deep.
The patio I see is 15 feet. The 12 feet is not this patio to here, right? You're saying from the back of the house?
From the back of the house to the back of the patio is shown as 12 feet, and that already
I
goes
don't,
over the surveyed
yeah,
25-foot setback.
correct. Jessica, what I would say is, I believe these were the projected plans.
Okay,
This patio right here from back of the house to the pavers right here is 6 feet,
okay.
okay? So if it goes another 12 feet, then I think things make more sense, does
makes
that make sense?
Yep.
So what was on the site map when the builder proposed it and what they actually did? I think we're well aware of the history of 10110B and all of it included, if you guys have been on the zoning board for quite some time. This house was built specifically in a back corner, and I think at the end, when he realized he no longer was going to have that buildable lot there, they probably put some things and cut some corners and saved some money and some budgets. So I don't think that patio reflects what was on the site map here.
Do you own that lot next door?
We do,
You do.
yes.
Did you ever consider building a deck that would be compliant off the side of your house?
Yes, we had thought about that. The only issue with that is that the deck could be built, could be compliant. However, that's our garage, the furthest left part of our house. So building a deck off of our garage seemed to be didn't seem to make sense. We wanted something to walk right out of our living room and kitchen back door space. So we did. That area is much more open. This would be a bit more private and kind of to ourselves.
So then I guess my last question is, I know you just mentioned you want to be able to walk right out of your kitchen onto a deck, but did you ever consider just building a larger patio with maybe a smaller deck that would give you a little more generous space to walk out on before you had to come down the stairs?
We wanted to be off the ground, if that can give you an answer. We wanted to be elevated right on that same level as walking out the door right there. This actual stairwell right here is about a 4 to 5 inch step down, and our vision was to be able to have a space to just walk right out of the door and have essentially an outdoor living space where we could eat and host and have our family. We've got 3 boys and whatever else that entails as life goes on. So there is no, it's a deck. It's a 15 by 20 deck. There's no hope to put an awning over it or to make it a covered deck or to make it an extension of the house and add an extra room to our square footage of our home. You know, we have one outlet right now as we walk out that door. Potentially, I think we'd like just to have the flexibility to maybe add another outlet over there. But other than that, railings and stairs that would walk out into the rest of our backyard.
I don't have any other questions. Thanks.
Ed?
Yeah, I don't know. Did you look at the patio? Is it going to be removed?
We would like to remove it. Again, as I mentioned, some of these things were built at the last minute of this closing, of this property being completed. The pavers are caving in, all right? The ground underneath it, I don't know if it was properly done or not. It's not an area I'm an expertise in. I can just tell you it's caving in. Maybe it has something to do with the water runoff from the roof line. But that wood, as you can see here, is rotting. Any one of our 13, 14, or 16-year-old boys in a wrestling match is going to break it any minute. And then the pavers are kind of caving. So we would like to remove the pavers and then maybe repurpose them in another area of our yard.
So if this were to be approved, would you, well, I have a list of things here. and
Sure.
You've already said some of them, so they're not going to be bad. Would you agree that the following conditions, that the deck will not have a roof or being closed any other fashion?
No, the only thing I would think would be potentially some sort of heavy-duty umbrella if you wanted to, like shading or whatnot.
Awnings would be allowed to.
Awning would be, right? So I mentioned that earlier, but yeah, that's exactly right, correct.
So the only utility would be electric,
Yes,
and that you would, the stormwater runoff wouldn't be a problem because you're going to have removed the patio, so I can remove that one.
Correct.
And you were, yeah, removing the patio would be a condition as well if it were to be approved. Good, that's all I have. You agreed to those.
Great.
Jesse?
No, all of my questions have already been asked. Thank you.
Okay, and mine too, I think. So Zach, thank you for bearing with us. Anything else you want to?
No, I'm very thankful for two of our,
Yeah,
three
we'll-
neighbors here
we'll
that
get
are
to
here,
right?
so.
And then you,
Just one quick thing, you want your exhibits A1 through A4 made part of the record?
Yes.
yep, okay. Okay, so why don't I ask if there's anyone here who received mail from the township about this application that they would like to testify? Anyone who is here who would like to testify about this case?
A long time ago,
You're gonna have to come up, I gotta swear you in.
my name is Brian Bond. My address,
Right, hold on. Do you swear or aver the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
So full name and address. Thank
My
you.
name is Brian Henry Bond, address 2728 Morris Road, 19003 in Ardmore, but Haverford Township. Years ago, before the house was even built, there was a house on the corner that I used to plow for snow removal. And I know Mr. Spiker. I think he's a customer of ours. We do asphalt work. And I know the property very well because I do work in the area. And I can picture where the deck is going, and I could tell that it's probably a really good fit for the area. So
Okay.
that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else who wants to testify about this case? No, you're good? Okay. All right, so Zach, unless there's anything else you want to add, we'll close the record. We may be able to get to a decision tonight. We have to see how the next case goes. We still have one more case that probably may be a little bit more complex. So we will close the record on this case, and a decision would be rendered either tonight or at our next meeting in 2 weeks. You don't have to stay. You can call Jonathan if you want tomorrow to see if we were able to get to a decision. I don't really know yet.
Sure.
If we have a shot at it, but we've, as you know, we've got a couple cases before you that we also have to do decisions on, and there's a good chance this will be in 2 weeks. But the good news is that you won't have to sit through a whole meeting in 2 weeks. We do our decisions first, and then we'll hear the new cases then.
Do we have to be present for decisions?
You do not have to come back. You
Great.
can just call Jonathan then, right?
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so our next new case is case Z25-40, Brian H. Bond and Joseph D'Antonio, owners of 2718 East County Line Road in Ardmore, DC parcel 22-06-00746-00, who seek a special exception pursuant to 182-1004 2A, B, C, D, E, F, and H, or in the alternative, a use variance to continue for use as a multifamily residence in accordance with section 182-403B. The property is zone Z2, or C2, and is located in the 6th Ward. Are you the applicant, or are you the counsel?
I'm attorney for Brian and Joseph, who
Okay.
are sitting in
And
row
what's
one.
your
My
name?
name is John Marcini, Marsini. I represent the applicants in this matter. I would first like to say, too, that zoning officer Mount was incredibly helpful to me in getting us in the right space for this application. And I just wanted to give him a note of thanks for his assistance. In our original application filed with zoning officer Mount, I had included two photographs of the existing driveway and a proposed renovations to the driveway and garage. That is not an issue here. I'm just trying to give the board members a flavor of what these folks want to do. And then Exhibit A in the application packet was the agreement of sale that Brian and Joseph executed with the prior owners, the Colodonatos, who, unbeknownst to Brian and Joseph, were not in compliance with any zoning ordinances promulgated by Haverford Township. The property was listed as a multifamily rental property, and frankly, I won't say in my opinion, but in my opinion, they overpaid for the property because it was listed as a multifamily rental unit. Exhibit B, pardon me, in the application packet is the deed evidencing transfer of the premises to the applicants, and Exhibit C, all of which I would like to be made part of the record, was a UNO inspection that was received regarding the prior owners, Stephen and Paul Colodonato. And one of the things for a conditional UNO was that we were going to be filing the application herein. So those would be, I'd like to make all of that part of the record. And then I do have hard copies, a hard copy. I don't even, they're the photographs that you're looking at. And I would have them marked in collectively 2718 East County Line Road, Exhibit D1 through D6 are photographs of our property, and 2720 East County Line Road, which is the adjoining property, and I'll scroll through these in a second. Exhibit E1 through E3, so, and have them made part of the record.
What is E1 and E3?
Those are photographs of the adjoining property. For lack, it's a twin, and 2720, and this is where it becomes relevant. Mr. Henry Bond is present, seated in row number 2. He owns 2720. And that property, and I can, let me see if, well, see if I can get to the next picture. So what you're looking at there is the front entryway to 2720. This is the inside hallway to 2720, from the front door, showing Unit 1, Unit 2. 2720 is in total compliance with Haverford Township licenses and inspections and zoning codes, and are 2 rental units, and it is attached to the application property. This picture, which is in my packet, is D5. That is the hallway to the applicant property, 2718. It's the same hallway, just not as nice at this point, which are going to be part of the renovations plans. This is D4. Sorry that they're out of order on the slideshow, showing that this has not changed. This was from when they purchased the property, nothing has been done with either door to this point, but it clearly shows that there is a door and separate locks, and obviously, the white door goes upstairs to the second floor. It's a separate unit, and on the second floor, there is actually another stairway going to a third floor. And having been in there, I did not include that picture because frankly, I think it's unsafe at this point. And if they're going to rent this, they're going to have to do existing up there at the top for the third floor where the stairway is very narrow, number one. But number two, how can I describe this? The railing guarding somebody from falling in is like the metal from a radiator cover. It was Joe and I when we were going through. So I did not include that. This is what's been done to date on floor number 2. This is the main living area. Oh, you can actually see the corner. There it is. I happened to catch it, but and I was appalled. But they've put new floors in, they've gotten it all painted, and it's a process because it's not in good shape. And the reason for this application is they bought it under the premise because there's 2 kitchens, 2 sets of bathrooms, etc., that this was going to be a multifamily, and that's how it was advertised and listed. And obviously, with Mr. Bond's property at 2720 attached, that's in compliance and zone usage properly, and he's got his rental licenses, and, they didn't know that they were going to be in this kind of situation. So that is, and the one pictures that are not up there, which I can show to the board, D1, which is part of the 2718, that's...
Are these labeled? Okay.
Yeah, that was in the application.
Yeah, we've seen this.
And I'm not good enough to show the proposed look. I understand that there's technology that can do that, but with the garage in the back, and they've got to deal with the neighbor who's not attached to, get that owner to agree that they can, to do the blacktop and make that, a nice driveway. I mean, frankly, so what we're asking, and I don't know what testimony you would like to hear from the clients, but we're just asking that we be granted a use variance with the understanding and whatever conditions you want to place on this granting of the use variance, that is fine with my clients, because they're working on getting this place restored so that they can get, a couple of nice tenants in there, whether it's somebody, living on the second floor and possibly the third floor, or, as for the upstairs unit, or if it's, maybe a small office, quite frankly, on the downstairs. That's what, their intent is, but it's an investment property, but they would also like to enhance the surrounding property owners as well, given the fact that it's another family member that owns the adjoining property. I mean, there's clearly a vested interest in making this property as nice as possible and being quite discriminating as to who they would, rent. In speaking with Mr. Mount earlier, he said it might be helpful, if I could present to the board some of the, some prior leases. We started this conversation by me telling you that Mr. Coladonato, the prior owner, and he's not here to defend himself, but when Joseph went to the zoning, office for such things. He was informed that there were never a rental license. And obviously, I attempted to contact him to see if there were any leases for his prior tenants. And let's just say no response. So I would move the admission of the exhibits presented today. If you all need hard copies individually, that's fine. I can, obviously, this is on the system from my flash drive.
I don't think we need you to produce.
Okay. Do you need any testimony from Joseph?
I just want to make sure that first of all, but all the pictures that you've identified in D1 through D6, E1 through E3, I don't think you've talked about them all or showed them, gone through them, have you? Did you show everyone? I wasn't sure. If there was more that you needed, no?
That was the one I missed was the initial one. So there's two I missed, quite honestly. E1, which we are staring at now, is 2720's rear entrance, just showing the similarities. D1, strike that. D3 is what you're looking at now. That is the same rear entrance to the adjoining property, 2718. My reason for doing same was I wanted to show that although the property is owned by another family member of one of the partners in 2718, they're exactly the same. And and in our request, we're not going outside the box on all this. And as most every place is, and whether it's Haverford Township or Upper Darby Township, parking. And one of the things that although this was not being properly used for however many years, I don't know. The fact that Brian Bond has a paving company. And obviously, the intent is we'll get the driveway paved properly. And what it currently looks like and what we'd like it to look like with a full garage back there, parking's a non-issue for, if it's rented to two individuals. I mean, frankly, floor number 1 is for a single person because it's not that large. And I can swear in Joseph if you'd like.
Okay.
Joe?
Do you swear over the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And Joseph, can you give your full name and address for the record, please?
Yeah, it's Joseph D'Antonio, D''Antonio, and my address is 502 Brookline Boulevard, Havertown, 19083.
Okay. So I guess I'll ask you one basic question. You've heard a lot of discussion already, and the information provided by your counsel, is that all accurate and you would accept that as your own testimony?
Absolutely.
Okay, so feel free to add any more you want.
The only thing I'd like to do is walk through what I've previously submitted and marked as Exhibit A is the agreement of sale for this real estate. Do you recognize this as part of our application packet?
I do.
And Brian and yourself, although they were electronic, you remember executing this?
Yes, I do.
At the time. Could you at least just briefly let the board know, when this property got listed, you learned of it and what you were informed of per the sales listing agreement?
Yeah, so, I mean, they approached my partner and they said that they had it rented. They rented it to family members. We didn't realize that was that it wouldn't be zoned multifamily. And essentially, they kind of bull rushed us into waiving our UNO inspection and, so we did. We waived everything.
I've known Joe, and he's not Joseph to me. I've known him for 25 years minimum. I said, Joe, you do the plumbing work at my home, why didn't you just call me? Let me review the agreement of sale, and, so there you have it. And then what's been previously marked and requested for admission, this is the deed that was attached to our application. You recognize this document as that which was executed and filed its settlement in July of 2025, correct?
Yes.
And then, obviously, last but not least, do you recognize this UNO inspection report?
I do.
That I've marked as Exhibit C. And if you tell the board, you came to Haverford Township.
I did.
And what
Yes.
occurred?
I came to Haverford Township after the UNO inspection came through, telling us to remove the second floor kitchen, wondering why, because I thought it was zoned multifamily, to find out that it was not zoned in the eyes of Haverford Township as multifamily.
And you have removed the stove.
We did remove the stove on the second floor, and then I applied for a conditional UNO that we would come in front of the zoning board and, try and do everything the right way with this property.
Anything else?
Board might have some questions. Are you
Yeah.
done with the witness?
Yeah, I'm done. Yes.
Okay. Jessica, any questions?
Did you do any research into the adjacent property, 2720, to see if it received a zoning variance to be a multifamily property, or how you said that is legally compliant, so?
I did not, but the owner of 2720 is present. Mr. Bond, please? I can do it. Oh, okay. So this is our co-applicant, Brian Bond, who's one of the partners at 2718. You're going to have to get sworn, Brian.
Again? Different case.
Different case.
Yeah. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And Brian, I'm sorry, can you just repeat your name and address for this?
Brian
record?
H. Bond, 2728 Morris Road, Ardmore, PA 19003.
So, Brian, you heard Ms. Vitale's question regarding.
We purchased 2720 in 2009 from Charles Friel Company. The property went through this process prior to us purchasing it, so it was zoned a duplex prior to us buying it. There was 2 tenants when we bought it. The tenants stayed there until a fire in 2018 when both properties were damaged. We attempted to buy 2718 back then. The original owner, who was the grandson of the builder of the house, was still living there. And so 2718 has never sold before until us, so which I assume is why we're having the issues, because the original builder's family has been living in the house since then. So I assume that all that was done throughout the 4 generations that the property has been in existence. But our house went through this process prior. I've talked to lawyers prior about it, and they told us that they went through the same zoning issues, so.
And are you planning to only have 2 units?
Correct.
In the house? And what will you be using the garages for in the rear of the property?
The property is zoned light commercial. My father and I rent the garage on our property in the back. We have 2 tenants on 2720, and we rent the garage for ourselves. We'll most likely rent the garage out for storage, or it'll not be a living, it'll just be storage, or similar to us, a smaller company renting the garage.
So there'd essentially be 3 tenants on the property, someone renting the garage.
Correct. Same as 2720.
Okay. The first floor unit, the lawyer described as small. I was just wondering if you know what the square footage of that is.
I think our side was roughly 800 square feet. It's a front room, a living room, a kitchen, a bathroom, all on one floor.
And then there was also mention that you might use the first floor as an office. Is that your intention or no?
There are properties on the street that at one time the houses were used for offices, but it'll 100% be living. It'll be an apartment. The first floor will be a 1-bedroom apartment. The upstairs will be a 2-bedroom apartment.
Okay, thank you. I have no other questions.
Ed?
Yeah, I'm a little confused about, the only thing you're asking a variance for at this time is to convert it legally from a single-family residence to a duplex.
Multifamily.
Correct.
And it's in a C2 district, so you're not going to, so the issue of the paving of the parking lot,
That, as I prefaced my comments early, I came here with the intent, because I know we don't have a huge hurdle to be asking the board members and the board for. My intent was to show that my clients want to do something really nice with this property. So why not show you what the plans are for improving not only the exterior, but, the interior hasn't been, the money has not been dumped into the interior at this point, pending the outcome of.
One of the issues that we have for the properties on that street is parking. The main road is meter parking. There is side street parking available. Besides that, there's nothing there. While all our tenants have the opportunity to park in the back, the lot is not brand new, fully paved. It's old asphalt. But it's not an issue for the variance. The only thing we're searching for is to convert this into a duplex.
you're providing testimony that you're going to rent the garages out, and that's not presented here as something that's being.
The garages our only concern today is to convert this, which we believed when we purchased it as a duplex, to be a duplex. The garage may not be rented, and that's no concern. And it's, even though it is not newly paved, it is very accessible and drivable because it is a shared driveway, not with our property at 2720, but with the adjacent property and their quadplex. It's the same driveway with them, and they use the same driveway every day, and it's not a problem.
No, it's just that we have other requirements such as impervious cover. And I understand that almost every house in that area has almost the whole lot paved.
Correct. And
So it's been approved.
the majority of the backyard is stone, grass, whatever. It's been there since before we bought it. It hasn't changed.
Okay, but we're not addressing any of that. We're just addressing the duplex.
Correct.
And Jonathan, could you, for the record, let us know that a C2, you would allow to have one residential unit if it was owner occupied? Yeah, I was asking Jonathan a question and whether he could respond to a C2. I believe it could be a business like on the first floor and a residential unit on the second floor, provided it was a watchman,
Yeah, that's my reading of the code as well. Just to clarify the issue on the garage, there was no intention of renting that. In my discussions with Joseph, in fact, it could be used by a tenant once it's procured, but there is plenty. My only purpose in showing the blacktopping was it's really irrelevant with the amount of space back there. And that's why we showed how many cars could fit for 2718 standalone. That's the only reason I showed it.
Okay, I'm just trying to get something on the record about
Agreed.
what would really be the C2, what relief you're actually asking for.
Yeah, the answer to your question is that, yes, chapter 182, 403C2 zoning district, I believe it's B2, hold on. B2, A2 says living accommodations or sleeping quarters for the proprietor of a store or business establishment or for a watchman or similar employee.
So, and you're just sort of foregoing the business use on the first floor and converting a commercial use to a residential use, which we have done before on certain properties on that road. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so at this time, we would, if we're considering this application, it's just for the issue of converting the commercial use on the first floor, I guess it would be the first floor, and the second floor, you're probably asking for an exemption because you're not going to have a business, so you're not going to meet that criteria. So You're actually going to ask for being a variance to address the issue of not being owner occupied necessary.
Correct.
Going to be 2 rental units.
Correct.
And the business of out of a garage is not, or rental of the garage is not being contemplated by this application.
Not even a little bit, no.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry if I end up asking a question that was already asked. We were conferring on some legal matters here, but you will be providing the 4 required off-street parking spaces?
Yes.
Okay. And then you would accept as a condition that you will meet the impervious surface ratio of a 70% maximum for the zoning district?
Given that you do paving?
Yes.
Right. Because I mean, I'm just looking at the, and I know it was only for illustrative purposes, but the rendering that shows all blacktop, you would make sure that you're not exceeding the 70% as a condition. Okay. Thank you.
I don't know though, Jesse, whether we would consider it currently not being all non-impervious.
But we don't have a site plan to.
No, just saying, that we're not approving or denying it, that we're just not, I don't know if we can put that condition on it, because I'm thinking it's already in violation, because it's compacted gravel.
That's for another day though, correct?
I don't know, we might have to go into executive session to figure that one out. But yes.
Yeah, it may be that the alternative. I only have one question.
Certainly.
On the depiction that you have of the paving, and I realize it's just illustrative. I'm just wondering, were you really intending that you'd have some spots that are blocked in by the other spots so they
No.
could?
The picture was only a rendering to show it that it'll look nicer than it currently is.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the intent of the picture, because if you see D1,
So let me just make sure that you will have space for 4 off-street parking spots, 2 for each unit, that will not also impede your ingress and egress to the garages.
that is also correct. Yes.
Okay. I don't have any other questions. So do you want to call any other witnesses?
We will close and I will move for the admission of,
Okay.
of all the documents and exhibits I've mentioned here this
Okay.
evening.
Then with that, I will ask if there's anyone here received notice from the township of this case who would like to testify? Anyone else who would like to testify on this case? Okay. John will close the record. Your exhibits have been entered.
Yes.
And we will, this case actually presents us with sort of a conundrum of how do we analyze this case, right? So we'll caucus with our counsel for a while. Doesn't mean, we're not going to adjourn the meeting right now. We're just going to take a recess, go into executive session, sort of make sure we sorted out what the right legal paradigm is to think about the relief requested. We'll try to come back. But we will, we can close the record now. But
Yes.
whether we can come back and make a decision or not tonight, there's 4 decisions in front of you guys. So it's probably not going to happen for this case
I
tonight.
get it.
Okay.
I'm frankly not going to wait.
Yeah, no, yeah.
It's been a long day.
And your client shouldn't pay you to wait.
No, they should not.
So, okay, so we'll close the record on this. We are going to just take a recess. You do not need to stick around. If you'd like to, you're welcome to. But not sure how long we'll be trying to sort all this out. But we will come back and finish the meeting. So we're going to have to take a little bit of a break while we go into executive session, okay? All right, so Jeff, we'll go off the record, please. Okay, we'll resume the meeting of the Haverford Township Zoning Hearing Board of November 6, 2025. After discussions with our council in executive session, with respect to case Z25-37, Jessica, are you prepared to vote?
Am.
Ed, are you?
Yes, I am.
Jesse, are you? As am I. Jessica, do you want to take that case?
Yes, I would make a motion to grant the requested relief, except for 18228.C1E1, which was to allow a 10-foot front yard setback. And instead, I would grant a variance for the front yard setback to be no less than 16 feet. And then that the project be completed within 18 months and in accordance with the notes of testimony.
Ed?
I concur.
Jesse?
I agree.
As do I. That's been approved 4-0, subject to those, to the limitation on the front yard setback. With respect to KZ 25-38, Jessica, you prepared to vote? Are you prepared to vote? Yeah. Ed?
See.
Yes.
Yeah, and Jesse, are you, I'm sorry, did I say Jesse? Okay, I'm sorry. All right, Jessica, do you want to take that case too?
Yes, I will. I would make a motion to approve the application with the following conditions. There will be no more than 20 players at one time within the space. The programming in the space will be, the timing will be spaced as indicated on Exhibit A16, and the basement will be used as storage only. Finally, work will be completed within 1 year and in accordance with the notes of testimony.
Okay, Ed?
I concur.
Jesse?
I agree.
As do I. That case is approved 4-0, subject to those conditions. With respect to new case C25-34, Jessica, you prepared to vote?
I am.
Ed, are you?
Yes, I am.
And Jesse, are you? Okay, as am I. Ed, you want to take that one?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I vote to approve the requested variance with the following conditions. First, the 303 Bewley purchasing lot number 2 will have a lot number 2 combined with 303 Bewley, a lot line changed to form a single lot. Number 2, a deed restriction will be entered for the consolidated lot at 303 Bewley to restrict further subdivision and construction of an additional residential structure restricted. 3, 2, be implemented in compliance with the notes of testimony. And finally, and to be finalized within 1 year of this approval.
Jessica?
I agree.
Jesse?
I agree.
As do I. So that application is approved 4-0. Let's see, with respect to case Z25-39, Jesse, you prepared to vote? Ed, are you?
Yes.
Jessica, are you? As am I. Jesse, do you want to take that one?
Mr. Chairman, with regards to case Z25-39, I would vote to approve the requested relief with the following conditions. 1, the deck shall not be covered or enclosed. 2, electric shall be the only utility. 3, the existing paver patio will be removed. The project will be completed within 1 year and in accordance with the notes of testimony.
Jessica?
I would vote to deny the application.
Okay. Ed?
I agree.
As do I. That is approved 3-1. And then case Z25-40, Jesse, you prepared to vote? And Ed, are you?
Yes.
And Jessica, are you? As am I. Jesse, you want to take this one also? Yeah, so under that, right, we grant the use variance.
With regards to case Z25-40, I would vote to grant the, in the alternative, the use variance to continue for use as a multifamily residence per 182-403B with the following conditions. No more than 2 units, 2 rental units on the property. Use of the 3rd floor as part of the 2nd floor unit will be subject to township code review and enforcement. There will be minimum of 4 off-street 9-by-18 parking spaces. The parking spaces shall not impede ingress or egress to the lot and garage. The use of the garage shall be limited to the owner or the tenants of the rental units and shall not be afforded to a third-party tenant. Impervious coverage shall comply with the 70% maximum per the zoning code. The project shall be completed within 1 year and in accordance with the notes of testimony.
Thank you. Jessica?
I agree.
And Ed?
I concur.
As do I. That application is approved 4-0, subject to those conditions. And with that, I don't believe we have minutes today, but we will at the next meeting. And so that, I'll adjourn the meeting of the Haverford Township Hearing Board. Thank you.
Thank you.